The Raptors get it done against the Charlotte Hornets. 132-120, live from Real Sports. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Leo Rautins, and Paul Jones. First of all, you had the turtleneck last week. What do you think?
Why do you got to copy everything I do?
I mean, you look so good, I had to duplicate it. I mean, I'm just trying my best. Just call me Leo Jr. tonight here, Jacko. Jack, let's get into it. This game, both teams comfortable getting up and down all night long. I was just waiting for one of them to impose their will defensively. Thank goodness it was the Raptors. They did that in the fourth quarter.
Oh, they did. This was a fun offensive game.
Yeah.
And look, Charlotte's got really good guards. And I thought they played, Rozier and Ball were excellent. They shot the ball well. They moved it well. So give your opponent credit. I thought the Raptors played an exceptional offensive game tonight. What, they have 23s? 19 were assisted?
Season high.
Yeah, I mean, and they did a great. The Raptors, to me, watching them tonight, they look more connected. They look more like a team. The ball's getting to the weak side a lot more. Everyone's involved. There's just the last few games, I'm starting to see some chemistry develop. And it's nice having a healthy Precious Achiuwa coming off the bench as well. The bench has played really well the last two games.
That's a big point. Jack, you made this point in the last game against Portland. Gary Trent came out early, and he was like, wait a minute, I'm coming out already? Only to know that he was going back as the only starter with four bench players and maybe going to be the guy who could be hungry or thirsty in that hybrid unit. Achiuwa, I thought Precious tried to do a little bit too much too early, and then the game started to come to him. And, water found its level. I thought he was great. Mm-hmm. And remember, he's still short. He's still coming back from, I thought Chris did what Chris does best. Offensive glass, run the floor, challenge shots. And it seemed like some roles crystallized in that unit with Gary, and the bench did a really nice job. Nick had to call an early timeout in that second quarter. And I don't know what he said. I don't know what he reinforced. But they were good for the rest of the quarter, and then good at the start of the fourth when they came in. And it makes a huge difference.
I think it's pretty simple. You either play or you're coming out, and that's it.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
And that's what we talk about, right? People are like, well, you're running up the minutes on other guys. If the bench doesn't play, you have no choice.
No. It looked like a pickup game out there. Do you like that kind of game?
No.
Are you enjoying that?
I mean, but okay, the NBA is going to give you games, and things are going to happen. Okay, you have a lesser opponent for 2 games, right? It's not a bad thing. Not just for the point of winning, but the point of, okay, you're a little free and easy a little bit, right? So guys got some shots up. Boucher was a contributor. Achiuwa had his best game. It took a little while, Malachi, to get a flow. Those things are important, not for right now, but as you continue to go, right? Yes. You're going to need those guys. So games like this, you want to make sure you come away with a win.
Right.
It may not be exactly the way you want it to necessarily go, but that freedom, that fluidity is going to help.
And I think the Raptors started better against Portland and tonight against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And when you're able to play with a lead a little bit, there's less tightness and pressure, and guys force things less and trust the teaching points and the team themes more. And, therefore, everyone just relaxes a little and is willing to give a little more to the greater good.
Yeah.
And, look, congratulations. Great comebacks against Milwaukee and the Knicks. But you know what? Let me see it the whole night. Mm-hmm. And I think the last 2 games, they've done it the whole night. And when this team needs that cushion to play well. And they have it, and better things are starting to happen in terms of committing to each other to
Randy,
play well.
to your point about it looking like a pickup game.
I mean, a very highly skilled pickup game.
And that's a great point.
Leo and I out there.
And Jack and Leo, it's Steve Clifford's second tour of duty in Charlotte. I love Coach Cliff and talking the game with him.
Yeah.
And he was talking about last year as a consultant. Now, here's a guy, whose tree is he under? Riley, Van Gundy, like that. Those are the guys. And like back in the day, the big guy was in. And he said, in a different time period, we worked for a great shot. Now he says we're playing by numbers and percentages, and we settle for a lot of we're settled for a lot of okay shots. We're good with okay shots. They're not great. They're okay. They're the first good one, and that's why, to your point about a pickup game, back and forth. Let's face it, and we're talking to Del Curry about this before the game too. 15, 20 years ago, if you dribbled the ball that much or took some of those shots, you'd be on the bench. But it's the evolution of the game. The numbers have determined some of that. And as Coach Clifford said, you live with okay shots, and that's why it looks like a pickup game.
But I would say, in defense of Charlotte, they took a lot of really good shots tonight. I mean, there weren't a lot of bad shots.
They tried to go inside the play.
They did a good job, and Rozier made a few difficult shots. But man, he was dealing. And I'd say, I love Ball. I mean, Ball is just, he's a joy to watch. He's freewheeling and he's fun, plays with joy. He's a charismatic, fun player to watch.
Yeah. On the Raptors side, Leo, OG 6 threes tonight, player of the game for the broadcast. And then the two big threes back-to-back in the fourth quarter. We haven't seen a lot of guys hit back-to-back shots in a long time. Fred did it the other night.
High in threes for OG tonight.
Fred did the other night. OG does it tonight. It's so good for the confidence of this team when you can get that kind of consistency shooting.
Well, and remember, when do you want to see shots like that? Say you're in a tight game, right? Boom, you hit one. Now, if you get another one here, you're going to get on a roll. You're going to give yourself that little cushion, that edge. So, again, that's where I go back to what I said at the beginning, to have these kind of games where you can get that flow, get that confidence, right? And you hope you just carry it over. But, the one thing, and I'm sure Nick Nurse will talk to his guys about, you get worried when the defense is a little lax. You worry about that, right? But, again, certain teams...
It was one of those games tonight that the Raptors have lost in the past because they literally just don't make enough shots. Their offense kept them in the game. Charlotte shot the ball really well. Their field goal percentage above 50 at the end of the game. It was up there all game. But the difference is when Toronto's able to make shots, then they've got to take it out of the net. You're not playing transition D. There was one sequence in the late in the first half where Toronto missed a three in front of its bench. Long rebound. Now Charlotte's coming back on a 3-on-2. Spacing's bad. The floor's broken. They flatten the defense on the far side. They pitch it back to Rozier, and he makes a three. And that was all a result of the Raptors' three not going in and the long rebound.
Yeah.
So tonight they scored enough that their offense kept them in the game, and they didn't have to worry as much about the percentage.
Was the three-point shooting the Jonesy stat of the night for you then?
For sure.
Yeah.
20. I mean, they have been. The other stat to me that stood out: rebounded. They've been out rebounded in 7 straight games. They're 3-16 this year when out rebounded. They were good tonight on the boards.
Yeah. What about defending the three, Jack? The Hornets shot 54.7% from the field overall, 42.9 from three. What did you see how the Raptors defended three? You said that Charlotte got a lot of good shots. Did you like the Raptors' defensive of that line?
I think what you're trying to do, too, against a team like that doesn't shoot the three well is protect the paint, right? So you're more conscious of trying to protect the paint, and sometimes you're going to give them some of those threes because they don't make them.
Right.
But tonight, they did. And I think as the game went on, they did a better job getting out to the shot. But, you go into the game, and I think both teams are encouraging the other guy to shoot the three because you don't shoot it well.
Yeah.
And now the defense looks bad, but you're actually doing what you want to do because they're both trying to get paint touches. So it's a weird thing. But nonetheless, I think there comes a point, too, where you got to look at your opponent and say, you know what? We're better than them. We're going to outscore them.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. You guys heard Popovich the other day?
Yeah, the circus.
He started saying the game has become a little bit of a circus, and nobody really defends that well, and nobody really wants to defend that well. And he talked about the three being one of the problems with that. And when you look at a game like this, if you're playing a team like Charlotte, you're just going to come down and take random shots, right? It's harder to defend, and if those shots start going in, you've got a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because guys, it's not traditional situations. So guys are coming out, one dribble, pop, drive, kick, pop, 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 pop. right? So it's teams like that present problems, and it's much harder to get back and defend in those situations, especially when you got guys like a Rozier Ball that can put the ball on the floor and also break you down. So there's certain problems that get presented when you're playing against teams that play that loose. Ultimately, you're going to win the game if you do what you're supposed to do, but your defense can look bad in games like that. So,
I'm a big fan of the NFL.
You are.
Obviously, we're all big fans of the NBA. I just think based upon the rule changes,
Totally.
you can't defend the way you want to defend.
Interesting.
Because like in football, you breathe on a quarterback, it's a flag. You
Touch a receiver.
You touch a receiver,
Yeah.
it's a flag. It's like flag football. And it's the same in the NBA right now. The rules, I mean, Jerry Colangelo's the happiest guy. You know, he was the big guy behind the rules changes. Well, who did it help? It helped Steve Nash. I mean, it helped his teams in Phoenix. I mean, he was doing it for the greater good of the game. I'm sure he was, but wink, wink, he's looking after himself too. And it's helped the game. But the bottom line is, we could talk about defense being bad. It's hard to be as good defensively as you'd like to be now. And these kids are so skilled, and they shoot it, and they handle it so well. The way the rules are, good luck trying to guard a guy.
So do we take Pop's advice and go to the 4-point, 5-point shot?
No, I don't think we do. No, what I think we do, I do think, and this might be crazy, I do think we're going to reach a point where maybe we have to move the line back.
No, but I remember in the initial stages the line was back, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with that. So only shooters really shoot that shot, but I don't think the NBA wants that.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
No,
if
they
we're
don't,
talking
yeah.
about entertainment, and that's what we're talking about here.
And that's what's happened.
So if
That's
we're
what's
talking
happened.
about entertainment, so if you have a 4-point, 5-point shot, you're down big. You're down big. You drop 2 of those, you're right back in the game.
Yeah.
So the game is never over, never out of reach.
They've
Is
hint-
that entertainment? I don't
Oh,
know.
it is.
I don't
They've
know.
hinted at it in the All-Star game, right? They got the one spot on the floor
Yeah.
for 4, right? Jack, to your point about the rules benefit the offense.
Sure.
To the point where
And the fans like it.
guys, they're trying to crack down on the travel, but guys carrying the ball now has become a move. Like I'm watching guys do a hesitation
Everybody
move,
does it now.
and the ball goes right to 6 o'clock, and then they turn it over and they get by the defender because the defender says, oh, his hand's underneath, he's going to pick it up.
Hey, you can't body check and you let a guy palm, you have no chance.
No.
Right.
No chance.
Right. Okay,
Well,
good.
you know, like I've seen you guard maybe.
No, you guys are showing your age now is what's happening, but I get it. I'm with you. I don't like the bombing either. All right, we got a fan question. Randy's in the audience, not me. Randy, where are you at? Come on in, bud. Randy, it's a great name. I'm not going to lie to you.
Is that why you
There
picked
go.
him? Is that why
There
you
go.
picked him?
Well,
This is Randy.
It is a great name, and no word of a lie. Randy is my middle name, which is what I've been referred to since birth.
Okay.
My first name, take a guess. Here's a hint. It's not Paul or Jack.
Leonard.
It is Leo.
Hey, there's not many of us. There's not many of us.
Look,
Swear on my life.
there, you two guys tied together again. Leo Randall.
Hey, thanks, Pops.
Hey, there's not many of us out there.
I love that. Leonard Randy.
What do you got, Randy? What do you got?
What do you got?
No, honestly, a great win tonight, and really looking forward to how the rest of the season plays out. Question is that it just really gets to me when the team keeps on jacking threes and you're not seeing a result. You saw what the stat line was for Milwaukee. They had a great comeback. They lost by 3, but they were like 9 from 50 from 3-point range. Is that a lack of discipline? Is it that they're just relying too much on the 3? Can't they change it up? I get it. Milwaukee has a bunch of trees in Giannis and everybody else, but
Lopez.
I would just love to see them play an 18-foot game and less.
The sad reality, Randy,
It's
is
not happening.
the mathematicians have got involved. And
Guys
the
in the suits?
the game has been played by numbers. I wish you would have heard Steve Clifford before the game because we were just talking about it. Teams settle for a lot of okay shots, not great shots.
Yep.
And now you look at, it's a copycat league. You look at what Golden State has done with Steph and Clay. And everybody says, oh, okay, that's the way we play. 3 is better than 2. So you got guys at the rim, and then they pitch it into the corner for a 3. Right? And it's just the way, the evolution of the game and the way it's being played right now. And everybody is highly reliant on the 3-point shot. And when you're 9 of 41 one night, you go, well, we didn't make shots. And the next night, you come back and you take 41 more and hope you make 20, 15, 13.
Hey, they made them tonight.
And they did.
You know,
Yeah,
and they made them on Sunday as well. So no, it comes and goes. Bottom line, if you're going to play that way, shooting has to be a premium. You gotta, that's an important part of your
It's
makeup.
a novel idea. Have some shooters if you're going to do shoot a lot of
Well,
threes.
no, I get it, and
See, that's the one difference. Everybody copies people. Golden State's got shooters.
Golden State
That's
has,
why they shoot threes.
Right.
But everybody else says, okay, we got to play like them, but you don't have shooters.
Well, like tonight, I think if you look at the difference in the Raptors tonight, you look at a guy like Precious Achiuwa tonight. What did he make? 3 threes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't had him for a month, 2 months. You can get him back in every night, and him making a few
Hey,
threes.
that's the way he
for you.
finished the season last year.
Yeah,
He shot the ball
so
really well.
and he's a great defender.
And things will
Yeah.
look. Yes, everyone's reading off the same sheet of music. I will give you that. In the NBA, all 30 teams in some way, shape, or form are reading off that sheet of music. The reality is, though, they are. I don't know what to
Some
do.
saxophone players are better than others.
Yeah. And so the challenge is not all of us have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And I think that is kind of what the point is here, is that when you don't have that, and that's your point, how do you navigate when you don't have it? And I don't know if I have the answer yet, but that's the NBA today.
It's not settling, right? So we've seen, okay, let's go back to the Milwaukee game, right? What happened in that fourth quarter? The Raptors said, no, Scotty's going into Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Sometimes you got to realize it's not falling, it's not happening. And you have the answer, right? But you have to be disciplined enough to realize, I'm just not going to come back and take another one, take another one, take another one. If it's not dropping, it's not dropping, right? Hey, when they're rolling, it looks great. But it's not, you got to find a different way to play, right? Yeah. And it's there, they're capable of playing. You just got to recognize it at the time, right?
Very quickly, if I could quickly ask, does somebody like a Ben Wallace, does he become, like in today's game, can he be a legitimate potential all-star Hall of Fame? I mean, the way I see
Look at
you change it up, and instead of that being that copycat league, you have somebody who just simply collects glass and have the other 4 guys.
Let me answer that. I asked Steve Clifford that. I said, Coach, you're of an older school. Do you ever see the pendulum swinging back to teams suddenly slowing it down and not being okay with just okay shots? He said, yeah, it happens the 3rd week of April every year.
Right.
Right? And he's right. You value the ball a little more, you slow down a little bit, but by the same token, the game has evolved. And I said, would you ever coach like that again? Do you see anybody ever coaching like that again? He said, not if you're going to get a job, because that's not going to sell in the interview.
The only bad thing is when you watch the playoffs versus
right.
the regular season.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right, but when you watch the playoffs today versus the regular season really gets devalued in the playoffs. It's almost to the point where, right?
Yeah.
It's a different game. And it becomes, and based the way the game is being played today, it's even more dramatic.
Yeah.
It's always been a difference between regular season and playoffs. Now it's even more dramatic, I think.
Thank you, Leo.
Thanks, buddy.
much.
Appreciate
Always
it.
pleasure to meet a Leo.
Yeah. Randy.
I called him Randy. Mama called him Clay.
I'm known as
Go with the better name. Go with Leo.
Okay. All right.
Mama called him Clay. I called him Clay.
What do you got there, Randy?
Okay, we're at the halfway point of the season. Raptors are 18-23. 18 games
I thought you
before
were going to say your halfway point of the show.
No, we're almost done.
Thank goodness.
18-23. What do you see as a realistic situation for them heading into the All-Star break?
Well, I'm making a joke. Otto Porter's not walking through that door. Remember Rick Pitino? But bottom line, this is your roster now. You're healthy. You got a healthy team. You haven't had Otto Porter. You only had him for
Jack's
few
doing
minutes.
the Gene Hackman. My team's on the floor.
No. This is your team now.
My
And
team's on the floor.
actually, now you're healthy. You got everyone together. Let's see what they got.
How many wins in the
and-
18
and-
games?
What's that?
How many wins in the 18
Oh,
games?
I don't know.
In the 18.
What are you,
I'm not-
Kreskin? Like, who cares about predictions?
I don't know. I don't have the
Just play
slightest
game.
idea. I mean, that's a hard question to answer.
Kreskin would be an old reference.
And
Yeah,
would-
they'd have to Google that.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I just know that if this group can stay healthy for a while, I think they're going to develop some consistency,
Hey.
and they'll be competitive with everybody they play.
I want to be consistent in my opinion. At the beginning of the season, if I felt if this team, if everybody played to their potential, nothing crazy, but just play to their potential and stay healthy, this team could win more games than last year. I don't feel any different about this team if they can get back to that.
Right.
Okay, so
And
how
Nick,
many?
and Nick talked about that in the pregame. It was interesting. He said, we need guys to, never mind exceed last year.
Right.
Right now, we need them to just get back to where they were
back
last
to
year.
where you were. So
Yeah.
I don't want Precious to be some crazy player. I want him to show me what you showed me at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Pascal has exceeded that. Fred's been good. You look at Gary Trent. I think he's at a great place.
Fred would argue he could be better.
Right.
For sure.
And you know what? Great players will do that.
Yep.
But the point is, I still believe that if this team is healthy, the bench, if Chris Boucher plays to potential, if Malachi Flynn plays to potential, if everybody does what they can do, this team can beat a lot of teams.
Fair.
And Leo, you're right. And I think added to that is the fact that I think expectations going into this year, and I think when you're a player and you have expectations and now you know you're a little bit below them, you press a little bit, and I think the group has pressed a little bit. They know what the expectations are. They know that not only themselves maybe, but more as well collectively, that people are a little down on them, and it builds a little bit. I think the last two games, I think they've really enjoyed playing with each other.
Yeah.
I'm seeing really good things right now,
Yeah.
and I'm very encouraged.
Hey, look at OG. What have we been saying about OG for the last 3-4 years? Like to
Stay
see
healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay in the game.
Yeah.
And want to see consistency at the offensive end. You knew he could guard.
Yeah.
We're getting that from him, right? We're getting that from him in a big way. So now, if other guys can be on the floor and healthy and play to potential, this team can do a lot of damage. I would put it this way: if they do what I think they're capable of doing, I wouldn't want to be playing them in the playoffs.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You guys
Tough
are not.
out.
You guys are not big Nostradamus fans, so I'm going to predict 13 wins. I'm going to go out like
13
that.
and 5
13 and
going
5
to All-Star break?
Yeah, going into the All-Star break. All right. Don't look at me
Okay,
like that. All right.
here's your prediction.
Gonna stop it there. Next game for the Raptors. They continue this 2-game trip against the Charlotte Hornets Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to come by Real Sports, be a part of the show, take
Why
your
are you
questions and
making
comments
predictions?
live. Why not, Jack? Have a little fun with it, man. Come on,
right ahead.
you
Good
can do
luck
it.
to you.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.